Hello, this is Aaron with Yesterday's Games, and today we're going to be picking back up in OpenTTD. And with our coal line now securing a nice stable income, we've got a couple of cities connected, over here, Gondingstone, Jewwood, and Drottninghattan. It's time to decide next, kind of, how are we going to expand from here? What are our next moves? And kind of before we go on, decide how we're going to grow the cities. It's going to be, just passengers, just freight. If we don't plan this out a little bit, we are going to start running into some trouble. So I'm going to unpause this so we'll continue going. And of course, the traffic on our rails is going to increase tremendously. So we're going to have a little more advanced junctions. A lot of people that play OpenTTD prefer to focus on either freight or passenger transport, or do a bit of both, and I typically fall into that group where I like to do both passengers and freight. But the big thing, it's important to make sure we have a plan for this, because the longer, slower freight trains are going to cause issues with our essentially faster passenger trains that they want to be a little more frequent. They're not always going to be a full train. And it makes sense. In order to have the good ratings, you want to have consistent train traffic to the stations, even if they're not full. People don't want to be waiting ages to get picked up and go, hey, sorry, we're waiting until we get another 3 passengers before we can leave. Passengers aren't going to be real thrilled with that. And so when you think you've got this train network, you've got all these fast passenger trains, but then you start throwing on some slow freight trains, it's going to start causing issues, and kind of mirrors real life, really, where your Amtrak is going to get all slowed down. So let's go in here and see if we can connect up another city or two, just to kind of continue getting stuff up here. So freight traffic, the other side, is a lot more relaxed when it comes to frequency. So, like I said, these guys, let's take a look at our ratings here. Mediocre. We could probably do a little better than this. We've only got 2 trains running out here. Let's take a look at where they're running to. Maybe get another one. So, Drottninghattan. So we could use, so again, we'll do Control-Click to get a new one out here. Let this little bit of time pass by. So I think this is exactly what the issue is we've got kind of this train here will come in, this guy's here. We'll make sure that he is going to go there first. Yep. I'll go ahead and release that train. So freight transport is a lot more relaxed when it comes to frequency, but they also don't want to just have their goods just sitting out in the cold, sitting out in the weather. They want to be making money on it. So a little more straightforward though. So let's go ahead and track down. So here we've got a forest here. Like I said, I like doing forest to sawmill, and then you get essentially goods that you can just ferry straight into cities. I typically want to have enough trains waiting at the stations for here that there's always going to be one filling up and another one, just ready to fill up once the other one leaves, and it makes the logistics of that a little bit easier. But I can see down here we've got a sawmill. Now sawmills, you can essentially pipe in as many trains as you can, and you have outgoing trains. So let's get a little something set up here. We'll go through our settings and see if we can get a nice looking station. So good station. Let's do 2 tracks, platform length 5. Good station. We'll get another. Like I said, kind of just makes things a little more interesting. And we'll do like a freight one, just again, because this will make it it looks a little nice. It's better than just having kind of a low thing here. So again, we'll bring the trains through and then kind of back out, and that'll be nice. So let's go ahead and get this set up. So I find freight trains are, clearly a fantastic source of income. As we saw, kind of last episode, getting coal set up, we can look at, real quick, we'll look at our trains. Coal trains, huge profit numbers. Now we come down and we're still making good money on our passenger trains, but it's nothing. I mean, look at this one, 65,000 profit versus, 24 is maybe our 29 maybe is our highest for our passenger trains. So, and that's just a very straightforward coal line, and it's a huge amount of money to be made in freight, and there's a lot of people that choose just to focus on that. And so, as we're making these up here, a lot of people, when they kind of, at least, I know when I initially came in and was playing the game, I tended to kind of have everything on the same tracks. It was passengers, freight, travel, everything kind of just went through the same tracks. And again, that starts to cause trouble long term, which makes a lot of sense. We want actually that there. You figure, again, we've got passenger trains and everything kind of sharing the same area, and oftentimes it really doesn't tend to work out the best for us. So we'll go ahead and we'll drag some of these out and get this station built up. Like I said, the faster we get this done, the faster we'll start to, make a little money. Come out, go out, and then again we'll come out and he can go left there. So there we go. So like I said, I think we might hook up to this forest over here. We've got two over here, so this could be a nice one to connect a few through here. So I think what we'll do is we'll maybe connect up this one. I wonder if this station. No, he doesn't quite reach it there. But so we'll do 2 tracks, and we have a nice, we do a wood loading station again. Always looks kind of nice. I think I'm gonna have him come out this direction. There we go. And I'm gonna be kind of cheeky and have this come just straight into here. Again, we're gonna do a nice little terminus station here. So we'll go signals. We'll do our one way. We'll just do our path signals here. One way. And actually, we're gonna have to do alt path signals here. Battery saving on the headset there. So we'll put that guy there. So that should hopefully allow our trains to come in, and then they'll be able to kind of queue up and kind of kick back and forth here. But ideally, we'll get our one-way path signals and set this up to where this, again, this should work pretty good here. And click and control drag, and there we go. So we've got our first one set up. Go ahead and pop a depot in on this side, and we'll get a train out here and kind of rolling along. So this one's not going very far, so I think we'll get away with just the Jubilee train here. So there's that guy, wood car, and for quick reference, how much wood is this going to be? 128, pretty good amount of wood. I think we'll stick with a 4-length one for now, and we'll have him go here, full load, go here. Bingo. We'll let him go. And he's lost already. Oh, It does help if they have a way to get in where they're going. That should hopefully clear him up. We'll watch him just to make sure. I said when they're empty, man, they speed right along. There we go. And we don't have to worry about this running out of wood or anything like that, but that's a good start. Now, while he's over here getting filled up, we're going to want to whip out another train. Let's get a little faster one here. This is going to be for goods. Now, we want to make sure he's ready to go. So we're going to do go, control, so full load here. So that is going to be where he's going to pick up his goods. Now, it comes to my attention that we don't actually have these tracks hooked up to any of these towns and cities and stuff here. So Gonding Stone is probably going to be an ideal one for us to hook up to. Now, this brings me down to we really don't want to mix traffic, because that's going to cause us lots of trouble for our, trust me, it's going to cause us lots of trouble down the line. So let's see if we can get worked out how to, yeah, I know it's got too few orders. Let's see if we can get another station in here in Gonding Stone. So ideally we don't have to do this, but I think it's going to make a lot of sense for us long term to have this set up, and then that way, so yeah, this station is, is getting goods. That's great, but again, it's just gonna cause us a headache down the line to get that set up. But for now, we will go ahead and so these are only 4 lengths, so I'm gonna drop that down to 4 then. And I've already got some like little towns and stuff coming up out here, so I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put them on this side. I'll go ahead and put him there. And actually, you know what? I would rather, if we hold control, we can click Gonding Stone and add this as part of this station, which is nice because this one has the ability to hit the center of town as well. So again, I'm going to bring this in. I'm going to do kind of a little row station where it's kind of a, we can have the trains come in and roll right on out without impacting each other. Bring this one back. And how do we want to connect him in here? I think maybe we could bring him in here. Now this is probably going to be the first junction that we say, hey, let's upgrade this to something a little more substantial. We might have to move it over, but yeah, let's go ahead and do this. So there's that. Bring him on down. And there we go. So that's just about fully connected. We'll go ahead and tie this into the line here and into the line here. And hopefully that will have us covered for what we need. Click and drag, click and drag. We've got some signals placed out here. So it's going to come in, they're going to come in here, they're going to come in here. And there we go. Not so bad. So quick as a flash, we'll come over here and give him orders to go and unload there. And he can go. Because basically, he can just hang out. Now, a little oversight there, so he'll come back around there. Go ahead and fast forward a little bit through here so we can see him. So he's going to come he's just going to come in here and wait to load. Now this is good timing. We've got the wood train here coming in, and we'll see if we click on the station, it's starting to create goods, starting to create lots and lots of goods, which we like. So he's almost full. I'm going to go ahead and skip that first one here, so hopefully we can get and while we're at it, I'm going to clone out that wood train. So ideally he's going to go out there, start to deliver goods, and we should be able to see Gonic Stone growing every 100 days. This should pop right up after we get a nice little delivery of goods in here. So need the diesel trains when you do the kind of speed up. It's a little more substantial. Steam trains are, you know, they're getting it done, but not in an overly speedy manner. So here he's rolling into the station. See how much he's going to make as well. And this was not quite a full load. 18,000. Pretty nice. So if we keep an eye on Gonic Stone, this should perk up after a couple of days. We should be able to see how it's doing there. So there we go. We got these two trains in here, and I'm sure you can see the idea behind this is that once he's full, we don't have any goods waiting here. They just get loaded in. And ideally, I mean, in the most ideal sense, you would have trains and you would have them kind of perfectly synced to where one's getting fully loaded, the other one's unloading, they pull in and switch, and it's looking great, you know. So typically, so as you can see, I've segregated the traffic a little bit here because, again, we always want to have a larger number of passenger trains, you know, kind of more frequent. You know, if we check out again, we check out our thing again. I don't have real great numbers, so I want to put more trains on the tracks than I have been doing. Let's see here. What do we have next? So freight traffic. These simple junctions that we have going on here are probably going to be just fine for our freight traffic for quite a while. And the big reason behind that being, because we can do this, because we can say, hey, go and wait till you're completely full and then go. That's going to mean we have a lot more train traffic on here. We're going to have a lot more train traffic on here before we fill that up, before we kind of saturate the tracks with the amount of traffic that we have. So passenger trains, not so much. Again, because, you know, these guys aren't filling up completely. He's 29% full, and he's already going because he's like, look, I need to make sure that we have consistent service here, which is just fine. Like I said, it's realistic. It's nice. So, like I said before, this is probably going to be where we want to have a little more substantial junction. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and pause. And let me make sure that we have building while paused on. All right, so we're gonna need this now. This is just gonna make life a little bit easier. Now, normally I just try to build stuff kind of as we go, but this will make this kind of upgrade process quite a bit easier for us. The other one that would be good to upgrade is this little one here, because again, even just between these three little towns, we're going to have a pretty good amount of traffic kind of coming through here. So I'll pull up a picture of it on the video here, but I've got this junction. It's from the wiki. It's called an over-under junction. I've got a picture of it here on my tablet because these things get a little bit complicated to make. So let's go ahead and wipe out some tracks here. And like I said, you know, let's see if we can give this thing a go and make something kind of cool. The nice thing is these can handle, way smarter people than me came up with these, and these aren't really realistic junctions in a lot of ways, because this is still OpenTTD and stuff. So instead of doing, let's go ahead and try and do a full one, because we do have a nice four-way things here. I'm just trying to make sure I've got enough space for them, because they do take up a lot of space and they're kind of hard to build, in my opinion. So cool, we got plenty of money. It's always nice to make sure that we're not going to be running out of cash while we build it. So in a way that makes some kind of sense. So we want trans queuing up here, so he can come out and make a left-hand turn. He can go straight through, making a right-hand turn here. This guy can also come straight through here. I said this can get a little bit confusing if you don't think about it, but again, just imagine passing on the right. Coming down through here so he can go this way. Ideally we want so when he goes here, this bit of track will be opened up. Both streaming into this area. There's that right-hand turn, right-hand turn, right-hand turn. He can come through here. That's something resembling what that ought to be. Now here we're gonna have to maybe make a little jog over to this, but that's not so bad. We're gonna unpause, just let that train turn around there. Yeah, I do realize you are lost. I'm sorry, shouldn't have done it. So go ahead, clear these out. Not my finest looking junctions, but we'll take a peek and see how this thing performs. So, coal train coming in here. Significant, and you gotta think about it too. Significantly more complex, granted, but. And we might be a little bit of trouble, but let's see. Train 4 is lost. He may be just temporarily lost. Let's hope not. Train's breaking down right in the middle there. Hutfield implicit. So sometimes. Passenger transit, that's all right. I'm gonna go ahead and delete that order from there. Sometimes. So again, they're getting used to it. Hopefully this shouldn't be too bad. This might be a bad turn for us, especially it being uphill as well. So the idea is that we can kind of in a non-interrupting way have a lot more train traffic going through this track. But we'll keep an eye on this and see how this is going now. Like I said, this is maybe a little bit of a tight area. We're shoehorning this into existing tracks. They do require a lot of space, and like I said, there's no easy way to look at this and lay it out until you, I guess, until you really know how it's working. But just kind of remember to go, okay, you know, if he's coming in, can he make a right? Can he make a left? Can he go straight? And kind of work your way back from there. It's going to take some time to get it right. Like I said, a tablet or something like that, second monitor is something that makes this a lot easier. And then hopefully this will start to flow pretty nice here. Like I said, this could be a little further back, and maybe I'll move that back later. But for now, I think we'll be all right. So here, look at that. You know, he can swing right on through, and it doesn't seem to be that big a deal now. I wonder if I just, that would maybe be nice to just do that this way. Move the signal there. All right, here we go. Like I said, kind of cleaning things up a little bit. Here we go. A little bit of a mess getting that thing built up, but we'll go ahead and continue working on. So, like I said, we started with kind of a forestry to a sawmill thing here. We got one going, but you know, one's not quite enough for us. So I want to get something else set up. So this might be a good time for us to figure out this Gonningston setup. So I'm going to skip him out of here, just so I can move this station around. All these darn trains. So we're going to go ahead and do the same with this one. Once he's full up, kind of get him out the way. There we go. So I think what I want to do, come up here, grab our mineral silos, and I'm going to hold control, add this to Gonningston mine here, and then bulldoze bulldoze the whole thing. That's a little unfortunate, but Gonningston mine over there. So there we go. So now he's kind of out the way. It's still not ideal, but a lot better than kind of what we were dealing with just prior. So we're going to have to remove these signals here. So like this way, you know, we can come up and have a more traditional, vaguely more traditional way of doing this. Maybe I'll come up and swing them this way. So there we go. And there we go. Don't need that a little bit. It's like a nice little, you know, cross junction there, and bring this thing up. That's not super ideal, but that'll be okay. And we can do that. Actually, you know what we might do is I'm going to make this our in, and this one is going to be our out. Also a little bit too close. Let's go ahead. How about we'll have a little redo of this one. So like I said, ideally we don't want to be having those 90-degree turns because, well, you know, trains don't do 90 degrees all that well, do they? And, you know, when's the last time you saw a train doing a 90-degree turn? So, looks a little nicer. And then we've opened up the ability to add these two forestry kind of forest here, to be able to bring those in here. And again, it's maybe not the most efficient. Looks all right. Not the most efficient, but I think we'll be okay. So as they come in, right turn right here, one ways, boom, boom. That way, these guys can come in and they know to wait to come out, and, you know, they're not crashing into anything. There's that. So right turn, left turn. Get our auto tool. Like I said, I think what we'll do is we'll have maybe a station here and a station here, or, you know, facing down this way. So we'll come over. Now remember, you cannot build on the diagonal in OpenTTD, which is a bit of a limitation of the engine. It's a little older, but like I said, not too big a deal. Not too big a deal. It's something we can totally overcome and work with. So go ahead and bring these tracks up. Go ahead here, and again, let's do a couple of wood loading stations here. And as long as, if we, again, we can see down here, supplies wood, so we'll back him off a few just to make sure that we've got kind of enough space to do the little junctions the way we like them. So again, this is in and out. Same thing here, we'll just kind of pre-build those. Little X here, little X there, and we're gonna be cooking with gas, as they say. One way, in, out, in, out. Go ahead and remove the excess track here because don't really need it. Anybody coming back here is going to be just going straight to these. And like that, those are hooked up. Now we all don't want to forget, you know, add in all of our signaling this direction. Oops, there we go. All we gotta do, click those again. They said we built those the wrong direction. Would cause significant issues eventually. But hey, you know, go ahead and we're gonna just pop one of these in the line. What we'll do, I think, is I'll just go ahead and clone. Actually, again, I don't want to clone those guys, do I? Because they are a little bit slower. We want 144 kilometers. That'll do. Wood car, we'll do again 4 length. Should be pretty decent. We're gonna have you go G for go, control click, and then we'll rock down here. We're gonna go ahead and unpause this too. Go ahead, and you know, I'm gonna go ahead and preemptively do that. Have him go, have him go. I think what we want to do is maybe just do cheeky clone on one of these. There's number 20, and I'm just going to go ahead and delete that one. Have him go Melbourne Cross, full load. Go there first. All right. Clone train, clone trains, delete to clear all the windows, and away we go. So, there we go. Just took a second for that to start generating. When I was looking at that, going, "Oh no, I've done something terrible." Thankfully, doesn't seem to be the case. These are, so there we go. So we've got one of those. This one's going to be generating a pretty good amount of wood. This one, not so much. So these trains might end up being costing us a little bit upkeep, but that's all right. We're making more than enough money to not have to really worry about that too much. So this now, good to see. We are outstripping the amount of. I'm going to head and control click to clone this guy out again. Go ahead and release that right away. So we're just about right on the money, but as we start flowing in some more wood, it's going to really start to build up the amount of. What is he doing over here? Where are you? What? Commingson Mines. Can you not get in there? I mean, he should be able to. I have no idea where this train is headed. So, signal on the right. That's okay. Signal on the right. See if he's coming in through here, he should be able to come up. Make a left. Coming through there. Oh, well. I'm gonna watch him and see where he's going, because this is look, your friend had no trouble finding this thing. Sometimes the train pathing in this game, who knows what they were. Let's see, there you go. Why he came over there, I'll probably never know. That's all right. So the fairly straightforward industry here of forestry into the sawmill and then making goods, which presumably are rocking chairs, wooden toys, things you get splinters from, that kind of thing. It's a very, very straightforward industry. Kind of, you know, there's almost nothing to the, you know, the supply chain there. Now, like iron ore mine, you know, we look here. Okay, iron ore to a steel mill, to a factory, and then that creates goods. So that's a little more complex, but it's not hugely complex. Now there's a GFR, so the same thing that we're essentially mods for the game, called FURS, and this has a hugely complex industry setup where you've got something like 68 cargoes, 83 new industries. And so if you kind of get bored of this normal setup, which, as you can see, the difficulty it took me to make a advanced junction, I'm not stressing the limits of this very much. But if you decide, hey, I want to jump it up and do something, you know, truly complex, that can be a great way to start. And it does have an ability for you to scale up and down how difficult you want that to be. And so something a little more interesting for you there if you want to do that. Most of the time, and like I said, the reason I did this is, one, to kind of show you, generally this is how you can get these things set up to work, and they tend to be not too hard to set up. Take your time, you can get them working, and that's really pretty nice. But later on, you know, if you have to retrofit a junction and it's in heavy use enough to where it's like, well, I can never even find this junction without trains in it, it'll really cause some disruption to your traffic if you do that. Set them up early. If you know, like, if I know that this junction here is going to be having a huge amount of passenger traffic, you know, if I connected, you know, 5 and they're all going through this one junction, that's going to cause some significant traffic to build up in that area. Like I said, I knew. Now I didn't realize that this was, you know, quite such a low amount of wood. But if we connect up another, you know, if there's another forest out here, or bringing them back down through this junction, you know, that could cause us a lot of trouble there. Now, we could always just make another route. Gets to be a little confusing. You can also do things with waypoints, which essentially can, you know, allow you to force trains to go a certain route if you want them to. For now, we're not going to cover that. But yeah, no, like I said, there's a lot of times where I've got to go and rebuild, you know, a spaghetti junction where you can say, oh, well, trains are, you know, coming this way are only going left, and then you don't put in a right, and it just gets to be a big old mess. And you know, like I said, it definitely just gets to be pretty crazy. So passengers, let's come over here and take another look at our passengers and see how they're doing and see if there's any way we can improve this. So ratings, mediocre. Ratings, very good. So we must have lots of traffic come through there, and ratings are good. So we're looking okay. So Jewwood over here, we could be a little bit better. We've got 3 trains in there now. We've got one that's got a really poor profit, one that's doing fantastic. And we can kind of see a little bit of the symptoms of this here. So now, breakdowns we can't really control. We can turn them off. If you don't want to deal with them at all, you can just turn them off. But if we want to have a little better selection of stuff here, so is this the third one? No. Third, supposedly we got 3 trains, so probably 2 going here and another one going somewhere else. Drottninghattan. So perfectly summarizes. So you'll see he'll come in here. One train will grab up all the people that are going to, going to Drottninghattan, and the other one will, or at least, this kind of, it's acting kind of, strangely as a one mega train, just in 2 trains. But it means that things aren't real consistent for the poor people here. They're going, well, don't want any planes. They're just waiting, and then 2 trains come to the station. Not the most ideal setup that you want. So what we can do is we can use our greatest weapon. When we come to dealing with this kind of issue, it's the timetable. Now, we can see here, so this is kind of already auto-filled the timetable here, because these trains have been running. They kind of know how long it takes to get, here to here. We can use this, and I'm no expert with this, kind of full disclaimer. I still, end up with messed up train schedules a lot of the time. But this should mean that your trains are spaced out correctly if we can set this up right. We go into here, and once we do set this up, if we hit autofill, this will go through and kind of set these things up. But because it's already kind of set up here, not timetable, change time, we'll leave it, we're going to say stay for 3 days. Let's go ahead and change that to 4. That should kind of cover us. Travel, 27, we'll add like a couple of days. We'll go ahead and do 4. Travel for 35, 36 or 7. That should be enough. Now, if we do Control Start and hit Start Date, so that will actually send that'll ping that out to all of the trains with shared orders. So we should be able to see this guy, roll in here. He's gonna come in and hopefully, stay for 4 days. Get filled up and then go. So we got 9 days late. So we're gonna go ahead and reset late counter. We don't really want this guy to worry about being super late. Like, don't sweat it. I would rather my trains be nicely spaced out than anything else. Now, we can already see this guy is waiting there a little bit longer, which is exactly what we want to see. We'll go over, we'll check his timetable, 10 days early, which is nice. So that means he's going to wait here. And hopefully that's going to mean that we get kind of a nice balance between these trains going where they're going. Now, you see how he had a little bit of delay waiting for the path to clear over here. Ideally, that extra day, those kind of 2 days that we added, will give it enough space where it's like he doesn't have to worry about this. Now, we also know, so if we look real quick, this train should be able to, so max speed 112. So he is hitting max speed there. When the trains get really fast, when you get like diesel trains, you can essentially they'll slow down, because they're like, hey, look, I'm early, I don't need to go full absolute, full, pedal to the metal to get stuff going on. So if we check out here, so we've got 14 and 13. So kind of here's the 2 trains now. One of them's over here, one of them's here. Just by using the timetables here, we were able to kind of space these 2 out without having to kind of start and stop them and kind of hope that they stay in sync. Because a lot of times with breakdowns and other things, they will just end up bunching up, and then you end up having the thing where you're waiting for the public transport and the bus pulls up, and this bus is 10 minutes late and the other bus is 5 minutes early, and they're just right next to each other, and everything's all a mess. So that's essentially kind of how we get started with timetables. Like I said, you can already see that this is improved just this tiny little route. And if we expand that out, we do that for all the trains going here. And it's nice because, again, all of our trains should be about the same speed. And that's going to make life in that respect a lot easier for them. So what now? Go forth and create. This is the basics. This is the stuff that I wish I knew when I was starting. And I think this is going to give you what you need to be able to go out and actually start making some really cool stuff. And if you're watching this and you give it a go, I would love to see what you create. So send screenshots or a saved game that I can look around, jump over to our Discord, or send a link to a video. And I would like to see what you've been up to and what you're doing here. And hopefully this gives you an idea. In fumbling through it a bit, but I do hope it gives you an idea of what you can do with this game, and to see we've got quite a few cities and industries and stuff set up and connected and running moderately well. And you can see 1.2, almost 1.3 million. You get set up, you can really succeed in this game, and as the time goes on, we'll get access to diesel trains and planes and boats and everything, and it gets to be really, really fun. And it's kind of neat to go, well, if I add another, if I connect another town, or if I add another station, because maybe my city starts to grow and get too big, how do I, what do I do? Should I do this? How do I connect it in? That's all of what makes this game really fun. And heck, for the price, it's really hard to beat. But anyway, thanks for watching. Again, if you enjoyed, give it a like down below. Subscribe if you'd like to see more. And there's a full post of this written up on our website, which is www.notyetexpired.com. You should be able to see it on there. And hey, I think the next one, I've got an idea for a little scenario that should be interesting. So stay tuned, and we'll catch you in that one. Take care.